Hey, John Livingston, I got a question. Hey, who's that talking? Is that Mike? Mike C. Gull? Yeah, it's me. Hey, we're flying south for the winter. Yes. Why? What? Why are we flying south for the winter? Well, it's warm. Plus, we go south each year because of the urge. The what? The urge? You know, you feel it each year. We listen to the urge. Plus, they have Disney. I love Disney and Epcot. Yeah. Cool. Hey, about that urge thing, what the hell is that? What's the urge? You know, the urge. That pull you feel inside your bones, the draw from north to south. To defy the urge is to defy being a bird. It's the instinct. I do not know where the urge comes from. All I know is that the urge persists forever. Right, yeah, cool. So, hey, I'm gonna dip because I just noticed that we're just flying alone out here and it's kind of freaking me out. Is the urge pulling you away? The urge to not get murdered. Oh, John, you scared another one away. At least you're never alone.
I hope they have Mickey waffles again this year.
Me too. Storytelling is human. We've been doing it since the olden days. In fact, stories exist to help people understand the world in new and exciting ways, and as long as there have been stories, there have been core elements that make good stories. These are your storytelling instincts, and every single story that you love has these storytelling instincts built in. And the authors writing the stories that you read are embracing those instincts in a major way. If you are wanting to be a pantser and discover your story by just writing it, storytelling instincts are required. And all of the authors that you hear saying things like,
I'm Stephen King, and outlines are the last resource of bad fiction writers wishing to God that they were writing a master's thesis.
How pretentious. Those authors are able to do what they do because they have storytelling instincts informed by decades of practice and development and a foundational instinctual knowledge of what makes stories work. You cannot pants your way through a story without these instincts. And if you're wondering how to develop your storytelling instincts, stick around to the end to find out. And let's start with our most important component, character arcs. At its core, we have always loved stories because they are human. All stories that we love are human stories of love, of loss, of conquering fear, overcoming adversity, or the trauma that just comes with being human in a modern day. Even if you go back to the earliest human stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh, which could possibly be dated as early as 2100 BCE, which, if you think about that, is absolutely insane. The story follows a character facing love, friendship, death, and loss. Human experiences that we all struggle with. That's a human story, and that's what resonates with people. And that brings us to the characters. The characters are our lens into this new world that you're creating. And because of that, they serve as our insert into the story. Does that make sense? We experience things through the characters. Even in a more removed POV like third person, we just process all of the information by relating it to how it will affect the characters. So you see the importance of character, and therefore the importance that we send that character on a journey. Your storytelling instincts should take that character through major change. Simple as that. The character at the beginning of the story and the end of the story must be familiar but fundamentally different. And this can be done in a bunch of different ways. One of my favorites is to put the character in a similar location or situation at the start and the end of the story so the readers can clearly see how they react differently. That is the human element in these stories. It's the themes and the challenges, and most importantly, the change that we go through. So how do you use storytelling instincts to create a character arc? Realize that the point of your story is the character arc. Even in a book with an imaginative world like the Chronicles of Narnia or Lord of the Rings, we follow characters from meager to mighty, from passive to powerful. And this means that you need to plan your character at the beginning of the story to have that untapped potential, and then that potential is realized throughout the character journey. But a human story can also be one of tragedy. Maybe your character starts with that potential realized and we watch them change for the worse, like with so many Shakespeare plays. Or maybe that untapped potential isn't about becoming great, but becoming more emotional and vulnerable. It's a journey into empathy. Gilgamesh is a prideful, powerful, and selfish king. And through his story, he becomes compassionate, he gains friends, he faces loss, and he deals with his own mortality. Storytelling instincts will tell you to plan your characters with this change in mind. Where do we start? Where do we end? That is a core storytelling instinct that you need to have. And here's my tip. Before you start writing, identify what your character is going to be struggling with. And even if you're pantsing, go into your story by giving your character a core flaw that needs to change. Envy, greed, pride, look, any of the 7 deadly sins, very popular choice for this. And with that in mind, maybe we should talk about how your story instincts also form your plot. By the way, did you know that we have a Discord with over 500 writers as passionate and interested in writing as you are? Join using the link below and share resources, tips, and even get feedback on some of your own writing. Also, while you're down there, subscribe to the channel for more videos about becoming a stronger writer. Now on to the plot. For a cohesive story, a plot needs to be connected to your character arc. And instinctually, there are a few ways to do that. We just talked about giving your character a change. Storytelling instincts will guide you to organizing the events of your story in a way that lets that change in the character shine. Gilgamesh, which look, I know it's not the greatest story in human history, but it just goes to show that the concepts have existed for up to 4,000 years. Hey, it has the same cohesiveness, right? Gilgamesh is prideful and he thinks he's above everyone else. The plot of the story shapes itself around that flaw by introducing Enkidu, a character just as powerful as Gilgamesh, to challenge him. And that probably makes sense to you, right? The plot both encourages that character to change, but also gives a reason to change in a specific way. The plot serves the character, that's the storytelling instincts in a human story. That's great. And you can look at any of the older epics to see this, but it's also present in modern stories. Ender Wiggin is a character that needs to win. The plot of Ender's Game requires him to win at all costs. They're connected, right? And through that story, Ender truly discovers what that cost means. It's a single, cohesive story because the plot supports the character. Frodo Baggins is a hobbit, a small, insignificant force in a world of magic and creatures and danger. And the plot puts the fate of the world on this small hobbit, forcing him to bear the responsibility and save the world. Memorable stories always follow this instinct, and stories that don't follow this instinct just don't feel as cohesive. The plot and the character arc need to be intertwined. It's the actions of the plot that make the character go through that change. The combination of these two factors often becomes something that we talk about through the framing of a story's theme. Now, of course, character and plot are two pretty obvious storytelling instincts, but there's another one here that I want to talk about that may be less obvious. Let's talk about point of view. Now you might be saying, how is the point of view of my story even in the same realm as character arcs and plot? And that's because different points of view carry different kinds of information. And that information can change how readers experience your story. Let me give you an example from my own writing. I pretty naturally write from a third-person limited point of view. And if you aren't familiar with that term, no big deal. It's third-person writing, but it's still limited to connecting with a single character. There's still a single person. We get in their head, the reader gets to experience their thoughts and the emotions while still being in third person. I've been drafting out an urban fantasy story for a while, and the proto draft of that story was written in that third person limited point of view. However, this story really centers around discovering that the world we know has monsters and dimensions and things that go bump in the night. which means that maybe third person limited isn't the best choice for a story that often has the character processing this kind of information. Storytelling instincts mean choosing the best POV for your story. First person point of view shines at getting us closer to the character and understanding what they're feeling. Third person limited also does this, but it will never be as powerful as first person in this context. So like 13,000 words into the draft, I decided to change to first person, and the story just felt better, right? It felt more correct. And that's because I was appealing to my storytelling instincts about what would make this story work best. First person POV shines at getting us into the head of a character, but hey, it also has shortcomings too. Third person allows the reader to get access to information separate to what the character knows. We can see things that they don't see. We can get the detail of the world without the character having to view the world in that way. Third person allows us to move the camera around, so to speak. And POV is one of the many writing tools that exist in storytelling instincts. But let's talk about another one that you encounter at every point of your writing, and that is pacing. The pacing of your story can be entirely dictated by your storytelling instincts, and it's up to you to know when your story needs to speed up or slow down. Conflict and action mean writing shorter, punchier sentences so the reader can speed through what's happening. You write less detail to keep things moving. And emotional moments shine when things slow down. Getting in the character's head, processing what's happened, drawing out the details. All of these things slow the pacing down on a sentence by sentence basis. But pacing is also something that we process in a larger way, the pacing of your whole story. And especially in modern fiction, pacing is huge. And this is knowing where there should be a conflict and the raising of stakes in the journey of your story. All of the plot frameworks that you love are born from that storytelling instinct. The 3-act structure, Save the Cat, Hero's Journey, these are writers trying to distill that instinctual storytelling into something to guide other writers who are still developing those instincts. The best thing you can do with the plot framework is to let it guide your story while also steering your own story according to your own knowledge of the story. You see the importance of each of these storytelling instincts, but we've yet to talk about how you develop your own instincts. So let's do it. Naturally, you're probably wondering, what do you do if it feels like your instincts aren't quite strong enough? You have those instincts, but it takes development to really hone them into something that you can use while you plan to write your story. The first thing that you can do is to learn how to read with intention. I talk about this all the time. Great writers read books like great writers. You can still enjoy your favorite books, but you also need to learn from them too. When a book stuns you with a plot twist, take a second and think about why it made you feel that way. What did the author do to elicit that emotion from the reader? Consider the foreshadowing. What led to this moment? What did the author want me to think before they presented that plot twist? These are the things that you learn by reading with intention. Even consider the point of view. Did the author write this story in first person because this twist relied on us only knowing certain information? Would this have worked in third person? Was this POV chosen for that specific reason? Consider how that plot twist ties into the character arc and plot. How do you imagine the author planned that story to feel cohesive and complete? This is reading with intention. And the reason why I tell you to do this yourself instead of just watching video essays on YouTube or binge watching writing channels like this one, is that the stories that influence you are the stories you should be studying. The stories in your genre should create your storytelling instincts because they're all different. For example, fantasy and thrillers will have very different approaches to pacing. Read your favorite books with intention and your instincts will develop to better reflect the type of storytelling you want to do. You can't pass this off to someone else. This is your journey, your tastes, and your instincts. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. One of my favorite parts about these videos is just chatting with you about story. Come hang out in the Discord, and of course, subscribe for more content. And as always, thank you for watching.